Hello to you all, and welcome to Pyramid Energy, a journey through intuition, wisdom, and loving insight. My name is Khunze. If you've journeyed with me before, welcome back, and thank you all for being here with me. When I opened this container and started breathing, what I heard was that you have concerns around your financial stability. And so I've used these fairy cards, and the first card I've got in front of me is service. If you look at this card, these birds are dressed in the same way as the fairy. So she's got 4 birds around her, one in a nest with an egg. Okay, so soon that will be 5. This speaks to the options that she has. This speaks to the options that she has, and she's picked one. And she's staring only at that one. Even though the others are speaking to her, she's speaking to one and holding one. There's a sense that this is a versatile person that I'm speaking to. Not just versatile, but someone with many options. But the 5th bird that's about to hatch, or that could hatch, speaks to me about change. And you know what's strange is that I keep counting these birds. I keep counting, wondering whether there's a total of 4 or 5. Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of time spent on making this decision, even though this decision appears clear. And just from the journaling that I did a couple of days ago, the word dissonance comes up. So dissonance between where we actually are and where we see ourselves. Okay. So I mentioned that this is not just a versatile person. This is a person with many options. But they've picked an option. And so I asked what this bird represents. The one that she's chosen. And this bird represents prosperity. However, when I consider prosperity, yes, we know of it. We know that this bird holds a lot of prosperity. This bird representing something that speaks to you in a certain way. And so all these birds have a manner of speaking and have a message, all contained within similar seeming structures. However, each bird is different. I feel like these 5 birds, 4 plus 1, represent almost the same product or thing or manner of speaking, or so they are packaged in a similar way. However, they have a different focus. And this feels like she wants the same thing out of all of them. She's just not sure which one to go with. This is the dissonance, because she's picked one. And there's also this sense that the bird picks the person as well. And so I'm speaking to someone who could do many things, has the opportunity to do many things, has a calling, but is trying to discern whether they have selected the right calling. And so, yes, in a greater sense, the calling has spoken. However, the specific choice, route around the nuance of this calling, the style, the message, the focus, that is what may still be in question. The 2 birds that are already grown and flying around her, those ones represent things that you have considered and since let go of. That's how I sense. That's how I sense it. However, the one she's holding comes from this nest. Okay, you can see from the size. And it's as if the egg represents something that might still actually be altered about this area of focus that she's kind of zoned in on. So there's still change in the air. There's still options in the air. However, there's this pressure coming in around prosperity. But this card of prosperity coming up, this is where this dissonance is also coming back, because to have prosperity as a focus isn't enough. And so I'm looking into this dissonance to understand what else is going on here. The next card I have says history. And you'll see from here, this is a fairy. So just to put this back into perspective, this is a very small being in this garden. So within the garden, yes, looking at her size in relation to the flowers and the plants, she seems equal, balanced. But if you look at her height in relation to the flowers, and then in relation to the leaves, and then all the rocks around her and how the flowers are growing out of these bulbs that are above the ground, it feels like she feels like she has to walk very carefully, okay, around her intuition. So she's not actually moving that easily. Her dress tells me that she's highly intuitive, deeply guided, okay? But these flowers, she wants them to grow beyond her. I can see that from the cards. The rocks are what represent her needing to walk carefully, but then the word history and also the bulbs above the ground give me this sense that she feels there's a sense of exposure around where she comes from, how she feels about that. She doesn't have a sense of privacy around her history. Okay, so this is affecting her and causing a dissonance. And not just a sense of privacy, there's a sense of safety that she doesn't feel she has because of the exposed history. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. And also a sense that the story hasn't yet been told in full, because if you look at the leaves are what's above her height. And the leaves don't expose her fully, and the leaves don't expose the flowers fully. And so there's a sense of these secrets that she is privy to, and a sense that if she were to grow higher than the leaves, everything becomes visible. So this is about vulnerability. So this is somebody who is deeply guided with what many would consider a crystal clear intuition. Okay, the deepness of her dress and her wings speaks to that. Also the boldness of her wings and her dress, the clarity around the outline of that compared to even the flowers and the leaves. It's bold. It's bold. This is someone who feels that they need to tread carefully, who knows the beauty that they are surrounded by and the beauty of the plants that they have watched grow, but that they feel like they're in a delicate place. The next card I pulled, in terms of what do we need to know here, is steps. If you look at this card, she's sitting on a lotus leaf. She's surrounded by lotuses. In fact, she has 5 around her. Okay, so she almost seems gripped to this lotus leaf. There's a sense of safety that she seems to have here, except she's gazing outward she's gazing beyond where she is. If you look at, it's weird here because they look like roots that are gripped onto this lotus leaf. with her hands, and so there's something keeping her on this lotus leaf. There's a sense of safety that she feels she has on this lotus leaf, but a curiosity that goes beyond her sense of safety. And so she's craving growth beyond her comfort zone, is what this is telling me. Lotuses also share an energy of resilience. Okay, so this speaks to history, this speaks to everything she's been through and where she is now, and the transformation, but not just that, what she's been able to grow from pain through the murkiness, still being able to grow something beautiful as a result of all this history, this pain, this murkiness that she's had to work through. So she knows how to do this. She knows how to do this. When I asked for clarity, I got the 9 of Cups. Clarity in terms of steps. So what are we saying in terms of steps? What are we being told? And they're saying that she needs to take steps. She needs to take steps. You see these 9 cups flying, she needs to embrace her sense of freedom and take steps beyond in order to move beyond this leaf that she feels gripped to. And I say feels gripped to because these roots that are growing out of her in a color that seems the same color as her flesh, her skin. These roots don't seem as gripped as she may think they are. So there's a sense of freedom that she actually still has, and the 9 of Cups shows this. But she doesn't feel free. The next card I have is prayer. This card reminds me of the simplicity of solutions at times. So this is someone who feels like all decisions sit on their shoulders around creative direction. And what this card is telling me, and clarified by the 6 of Cups, it's speaking to me about prayer versus meditation, for example. Prayer is an action. It's an action that we take, as opposed to meditation, which is a form of opening ourselves up to receiving openly. So we expect whatever we receive to come openly. When I say openly, I'm referring to we open ourselves up, and also we leave our expectations of what will be returned open. Open in terms of timing, open in terms of form, open in all ways. What prayer is telling me is, the 6 of Cups is also around give in order to receive. And so this is share your concern. Ask. Ask for what you want. What I feel you're going to be asking for here is creative direction. Be specific about how specific you'd like this creative direction to come. And then also the form being how it comes back, how you want to feel. So that is, I would like creative direction towards a space that I can feel free in. I'd also like to feel the sense of freedom that I'm asking for. I'd also like for this direction to be one that I feel safe in. I'd like to feel a sense of safety that I have not been feeling. So here we are opening up to prayer, to ask for something to come towards us, to receive something that allows us to bridge this gap of dissonance. This is a very subtle form of fear of one's own potential and fear of being seen, in the sense that there will be nothing you can hide. And so I sense someone who feels like they want to move in a direction that they haven't seen someone else move in. And what it asks of them is the type of honesty. I actually meant to say openness, but what came out of my mouth is honesty. So this is open and honest. This is complete vulnerability. The reason being, this is not a space that one can move into cautiously, the way you have here on history, okay? Because whatever comes in intuitively is what comes in. Whatever arrives, arrives. And so that guardedness that she's been engaging in is something that needs to melt away. And I suppose the lesson that I'm getting here is what she wants is what she's afraid of. And what she's being asked to look at, and I'm using she, and I'm going to go back to that, but what she's being asked to look at is that it is her vulnerability that is beautiful. It is her vulnerability that she's offering. We talk about vulnerability so often that I want you to picture an open heart. An open heart in the sense that it's exposed, not broken into two or anything, like exposed, so you can see the heart itself. And right now I'm picturing it covered in some form of a cage. So you can see, people can see the heart, but people cannot touch that heart. And so to move herself to the next level, there's an awareness that she needs to unlock this cage and allow for her heart to be touched. And I'm also seeing the sense that this heart can't be touched by anyone. In order to actually touch this heart, the one who touches the heart, her heart, has to have the right kind of heart. This is challenging to put into words. What she has to offer holds a resonance that cannot be accessed, even in clear and plain sight, by anyone. This is the kind of protection that she has. I'm going to try word this differently for clarity. What she perceives as exposure is not actually exposure. It is a sharing of something that holds a resonance that can only be reached and received by the right people. And so she might feel like she's unlocking a cage, but that cage remains locked to the wrong people, if ever they were. She's free. She's safe. She's free and she's safe. And she's receiving this confirmation here. And so they're asking you to take the steps and trust the unfolding. I pulled another card. It says give and receive, literally. And look at how she's sending wishes out and she's receiving them back. She's naked. She's completely naked. But this is the answer. This is her answer, is that this is where her prosperity is. This is where her safety is. She is going to be given a gift. Okay, and this gift this is becoming quite emotional. This gift is hard to put into words. It's one that not many people actually receive. And this is because it is not asked for easily. It is not asked for easily because it is not easily received. This is starting to sound circular, but please give me a moment. This is the gift of, and every time I try to put it into words, it makes me very emotional. This is a gift of witnessing and realizing that it's in your complete vulnerability, nakedness, that you receive everything that you want. And another thing that tells you why this is difficult, why this feels difficult, is because this is hard to find. This is hard to find. I'd like you to try and picture this with me. This is the materialization and embodiment made visible of freedom, love, and prosperity living in one place. I want you to picture what freedom means. What freedom means, ultimate freedom. What it means to you. It lives at a height. It lives at a height that many reach for. Many strive for this height. Okay? And it lives with a sense of love. Okay? Again, many reach for this. And as I have my hand reached out towards freedom, I can feel my muscles sort of starting to feel the weight of holding my hand up there towards freedom. What you're going to receive lives at that same height. And it's only been offered to you because you can do it. You can do it. There's also something around others being given the opportunity to touch your heart like that. Okay, so that's also earned. To touch your heart like that, the healing potential of touching someone else's heart. This cannot be measured. It cannot be measured. But that is also the height of the prosperity you're reaching for. All of these things are there. But another thing that lives there at this height is a sense of peace. There is a peace at this height that many strive for. I'm seeing this height as if it's a cloud. I'm seeing it as a cloud. And I'm seeing a hand reach into this cloud to grasp something that currently is not visible. But there's a knowing that all these things are available at this height in this cloud. And so to an extent, they're asking you to trust this unknown space. Strength tells me they are asking for your courage. They're confirming your strength. to say, strength and courage, very similar energies. The difference is that strength is inherent. It's already there. So this is confirming that you have the strength. You have the strength, so you are strong enough to carry yourself through this, to this place. Okay, so you have the strength, it's confirmed. Courage is actually more around trust. Courage is about trusting your strength. So this is an ask for your trust. So this is confirming what is available to you, and it's asking for you to trust it. When I go back to our starting cards, service, prosperity, and history, I very much sense that this is the solution to this vulnerable space that you're being asked to move into. It is something that you desire. It is just something that you, at least until now, have not been made aware of how safe it is for you. And so, from someone else looking in, perhaps this could be considered completely unsafe. But this is a unique path. And it's also made unique because it's what you've chosen. It's what you've chosen. You don't actually want this cage around your heart. You want to be felt. You want your heart to be seen. You just were under the impression that it may be seen by the wrong people. It won't. Because your heart cannot be seen by the wrong people. Whoever you are, your heart is golden. I actually heard this last night before bed, and I didn't have context. But Spirit told me we're going to talk about gold. We're going to talk about gold. What you have to offer is golden. And it comes from your heart. And you're being reassured of your strength and your safety. And not just that what you have to offer is so valuable and so important and so needed. If you could feel what I feel, if what I feel right now could really be put into words. Also, this prosperity is your karma. I know that I need to read a card from the Rumi Oracle deck. Something soothing. The card I've pulled is card number 27, the Angel Rasbar. The guidebook says, "Tell me the truth," I asked love. "What are you?" "I am the everlasting life," love said. "I am the recurring joy of living." Rumi. The Master speaks of a den of riches, where many precious jewels can be found. In abundance they lie, patient and yet ready to be claimed. Go scoop them up, urges the Master. The devoted ones look but cannot see. Where are those precious jewels, they cry, for we cannot find them anywhere. The Master gazes lovingly at the devoted ones and responds kindly. In service, my beloveds, you shall find the jewels through service. For what is the soul but the finest and most precious of heavenly jewels? What is service but the scooping up of the soul, that it does not lie lost, nor unclaimed, but instead honored for all its precious worth and beauty, tended to until it becomes vibrant as a flawless ruby, radiant with the joy of living. Divine contribution is offered to those who wish to contribute to the world. The great beloved sees what is in your heart, what it is you wish to offer, and is saying yes. So, you are being empowered to serve, to assist, to offer a genuine spiritual contribution to this planet, to become a sacred hand at work for the will of heaven. Such is the capacity bestowed upon the soul that is wise and filled with love and therefore desiring to serve. So then, do not doubt yourself, beloved. You have been blessed with this by the Master to find the precious jewel of your own soul and claim it. Cast aside your doubts then. Yet perhaps this is not easy for you to do. Perhaps you look at the world, even your chosen field of endeavor, and already you hear so many voices speaking. You may wonder if your own contribution would simply add noise to a cacophony. You may wonder if you can really help, if you have anything genuine to add, or if there is just too much noise anyway. You may hesitate and become fearful. Do not despair, my beloved. It is part of your divine destiny to add something of great value to the world, something that has its place even amongst all that activity, something needed absolutely in the hearts of all. That precious gift is the true silence. The true silence is peace. It is the living experience of the eternal love of the divine that asks nothing but to be received and gives of itself unconditionally. That silence is present underneath even the most raucous noise, if one knows how to access it. The true silence can only be felt through the beautiful, feeling heart. When you know how to feel for it, to surrender into it, you can transmit silence in many ways. Through the peace you cultivate in your heart, in your own daily living, through your presence, through your art, even through your voice, written, sung, or spoken. Yes, even through sound, if that is your path of service. Silence can emanate through your voice, and divine silence can be felt in the hearts of others. The true and great silence, as you may now realize, my dear angel, is not the absence of sound. It is the experience of the divine presence of love. So, shall you trust in the wisdom of the Master who bids you to serve according to the graces you have been given? Will you choose to put aside your doubts and instead believe in yourself and the power of divine love that will reach out to the world through your willing soul? Ah, yes. I knew your brave heart would accept this empowerment. I knew you wanted to serve more than you wanted to fear. Whatever it is in your heart is the method by which the great jewels shall be collected. The Master teaches us that we are built to serve according to a higher perfection. So if to dance is in your heart, then dance. Be open and free. Do not hide. Dance. If prayer is in your heart, then pray. If you can feed the poor with food, if you can give the despairing kindness, the lost your words, and those who have turned away from the great Master a healing touch, then do so. Do so without doubt, without having to be the best or the greatest, or any other notion your mind conjures. Just be willing. Willingness, not perfection, is required from you. So then there is room for freedom to awaken in you. Willingness opens you to divine assistance and, through that empowerment, an even greater joy of being will grow within your sacred heart. Your service can flow from simply being yourself in the world, completely and utterly. Your radiance can become one of the sacred candles of the Holy Master. There are many candles that hold the Master's light, and yet each one of them is precious beyond compare. Be such a light. Scoop up the jewels through your service, and do not render yourself incapable through nightmares of false imaginings and smallness of mind. Yes, your heart is too big for your mind and it will break open, but that is okay. Do you think you only serve love and are not also served by love? The helpers are always helped. This is love's way. Do you feel as though you are a foreigner in this land? Ah, Angel Rasbosh, I'll show you the way then, for she knows you from a long, long time ago, though you might have temporarily forgotten the acquaintance. She is a great hostess and guide in this terrain of divine love, and she remembers you. You, who are great of heart and capable of contribution. You, who are now signing up for service in the great work of love. Yes, there is work for you to do. Your purpose is bestowed. Serve, assist, do not hold back for any reason. Not one reason you could imagine is worthy of you. So then, aliveness. So then, service. So then, joy. Help and be helped. That is the way for you now. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You are being guided deeper into your life purpose and divine destiny. Like a maturing adult who is ready to take on the mantle of a greater responsibility, your soul is stepping up. You are going through a process of assuming more spiritual responsibility for the honest and empowered expression of your own essence. And through that, your healing presence in the world is increasing. You are stepping up and forward onto your path. This is appropriate now. It will make you more visible, but that is as it should be. It is not about being worth more than another. It is about the utterly sensible use of a light, that it not be dampened down by a shade, but instead be placed where it can cast its fullness so that others, still in darkness, may find their way more easily. This is efficient, intelligent, and sensible. Your success and growth is drenched in compassion and brings joy to the heart of the Master, as another and another find their way, benefiting from the light of your being. So shine true. Be humble but not dismissive of your gifts. Allow others to find their way more easily because you choose to honor the power of the great silence that emanates through you evermore as you trust and surrender. This oracle brings special messages of reassurance that you are making progress and are indeed on the right path. Although it may not unfold exactly as you anticipate, it will indeed unfold. You are making a positive impact in the world, more than you consciously realize, and you are asked, therefore, to continue. Do not give up. Do not turn back. Just continue. Take your steps, your journey, and know that the great Master is aware of you and is sending the holy ones, including that wise ancient mother, Angel Rasbar, to bring you the blessing of the true silence now. Let it clear and soothe your mind and heart and help you remember the peace that dwells within you. All is well. Something I wanted to say before I actually started reading this Rumi Oracle card was that I feel like this reading asked a lot of me. And that's just me being open and honest. But I felt what I felt. And so while this is a lot that's being asked of you, what I want to say to that is, again, this is being offered to you because you want it. In your heart, you want it. Your heart has asked for this. And more than that, you've been given the strength to pursue it. And you're already on the opportunity. You are already within the opportunity. And so what's being asked of you is to take those steps, but to take them without fear and reservation, because you already know how to take steps. The only difference here is that you're being asked to go deeper into your vulnerability. And it is asking me, like, what my words that I just shared are asking me whether this depth will ever stop deepening and ever stop asking. And the answer to that is that that's also going to be up to you. It's going to be up to how much you want of this goldenness. Because it's there on offer right in front of you. It's there. And my understanding is, again, you have the steps. It's just that as it asks, have the trust to open up, because it's already there within you, and it has a purpose. And you, it's like I see you on the other side, almost encouraging you and cheering you on and confirming that it's safe to proceed. You are safe. Sending you love from my heart to yours. Should you wish to support my channel, and can, I have left details in the description box below on how. Thank you so much.